Sorry, one day me and my mum are sitting in my living room, bored out of our minds, so I ask her, Mum, do you want to watch a really good film? She goes, okay, sure. I then went on to put on this little film that I don't think many people know about. It's called Well, to me this film is iconic, and I am certain most normal people would agree. However, to my mum it was nothing special. In fact, she was surprised to hear me call it iconic. But then I questioned myself, why is this film even considered iconic? Well, first we could start with the performances throughout this film are incredible. All the actors and actresses were perfectly cast, and I genuinely could not see anyone else playing any of the roles within this film. The standout in my opinion being Judd Nelson. He gives the most memorable performance, which is actually amazing considering how great everyone else was.
Claire.
Claire?
Claire, it's a family name.
Oh, it's a fat girl's name.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm not fat.
Well, not at present, but I could see you really pushing maximum density.
Why are the performances so good though? A plain and simple answer would be this guy is responsible for other great movies, one of which I also consider iconic. John Hughes understands teenagers. He knows how and why teenagers communicated the way they did back in the 80s. This is why scenes like this.
Don't you ever compare yourself to me, okay? You got everything, and I got shit. Fucking Rapunzel, right? School would probably fucking shut down if you didn't show up. Queenie isn't here. I like those earrings, Claire.
Shut up.
Are those real diamonds, Claire?
Shut up.
I bet they are. Did you work for the money?
Shut
for those earrings?
your mouth.
Or did your daddy buy those for you?
Shut up!
Feel real and emotional. He created characters which were relatable and that felt like real human beings. And this allowed the audience to connect with them throughout the film. I think the main reason why my mum didn't really enjoy this film in particular is because she is an adult now. She doesn't understand why small issues like the ones which the people in this film experienced had such large impacts on them. This is also why I believe this film received some backlash back when it was first released in 1986. A lot of adults misunderstood the message which John Hughes was trying to bring across to them, as he even said,
I mean, I'd much rather stir controversy than just, fade away. I think that a lot of adults misinterpreted the film. I think they looked at it as an assault, which it was not. What the picture was saying to adults, what those characters were saying to adults is, please listen to me. I mean, I'm young, but I have problems. They may not seem particularly important to you, because in the context of life and death and survival and all those other major issues, my being upset because someone doesn't like me, or I don't have any friends or whatever, looks relatively insignificant to you, but it's really hurting me.
the plot in this film is pretty basic. 5 kids stuck in detention. It's all set in pretty much the same place, and all they really do is talk between each other. Sounds pretty boring, right? Wrong! The plot of this film allows the characters to show how different each one of them is compared to the other. It's sort of like Reservoir Dogs, but without any ear cutting or Mexican standoff at the end.
Stop pointing that fucking gun at my dad!
Okay, well maybe not so much like Reservoir Dogs, but you get where I'm going. John Hughes' screenplay, in addition to being full of memorable scenes, expertly distills the way these 5 people decimate one another into a few short lines of dialogue or even a withering glance. John Bender's mockery of his weaker and less cool peers is undergirded by his humiliation at being poor, Claire's smug superiority at being one of the upper class sets is laid low by how easily the others pinpoint her self-absorption. Each character is prey to his or her own specific brands of insecurity and stress, and the plot makes it clear that one of the tragedies of their lives is the degree to which all of this is externally imposed, especially by their parents. Evidently, this film is one of the best to come out of the 80s era. It's a story that lets you know to never judge a book by its cover and that there's no shame in just being yourself. We learn as an audience something about each one of the characters, and maybe even something about ourselves. It lets us realise that even though it's just a film, the people who come into our lives at the strangest of times could be the most important to us. We just won't know it yet.